see, we are doing a disservice because we haven't written a book about the real history of the Nation of Islam. Yeah, we were at Temple number 7 in Harlem, and we were the first ones to get our exes, brothers and sisters. We don't talk about this. We done it together. Yeah, we traveled to literally Chicago, slept on shop floor where gunshots are licking off, brethren. We just said, you know what? We're looking at the mother play. That's all we're interested in, okay, brothers and sisters. Leo Muhammad, as many of you know, international star. Leo says he doesn't want the enemy to make him a star, even though he was the star of the Real McCoy that went on to change comedy and change the platform of consciousness in the UK. But he also became a star because of his works on the Hyde Park. Yeah, he said, damn if the enemy is going to make me a star. I want the people to make me into that star, only if Allah thinks that I'm worthy of that star. And I think that Allah, and I 100% believe that Allah knows that he's a star, and the star only comes out when there's darkness around us. And you cannot say, brothers, since we are living in darkness today. And that's why Leo shines like a star. So brothers and sisters, Leo, how are you doing, my king?
Oh, I'm very, very good, Brother Andrew, man. Thank you so much, brother, for the invitation. It's such a wonderful honor and privilege to be on this show, man. You may not know this, Andrew, but I do tune in most weeks, brother. Very rarely do I miss the hidden truth. It's a very, very, very powerful platform, brother. And I listen and I watch, and I'm very pleased, and I thank God for you, brother, because the job that you're doing is awesome. And I see that our people are getting food for our growth and development and for our liberation and for our nation building efforts, man. So believe me, brother, it's my honor, it's my privilege, it's my pleasure to have an opportunity to come and spend a few minutes with you, man.
Leo, and I have to ask you this question, brother Leo. Why is your skin so soft and shiny, King? Just let the people know.
You know, there's two reasons, brother.
Yes, sir.
My wife has the Nature's Hair Produce.
Okay.
Produce and skin treatment and whatever. We'll put an advert in the chat in a little bit. But the most important one is called How to Eat to Live.
Okay.
And this is from the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And that book, brother, it's awesome. And the guidance in that book, it gives us a very, very peculiar diet. But if we eat that diet in the manner prescribed, brother, it keeps us young, man. It keeps us healthy, keeps us fit. It actually gives us the opportunity to reverse the aging process. So rather than becoming old and decrepit, we actually feel like teenagers, brother. Even
Yes,
though we're up into our 30s and 40s now. That's where I am now. I'm just around 35.
Brother Leo, can I just let me know, is this your wife's company, sir?
That's the one, brother. That's the one. Yes, sir. Some of my children.
So brothers and sisters, that's Brother Leo's wife's company. So when you support that, you're supporting Brother Leo also and his beautiful family to keep the work going. Brother Leo, I'm not going to hold back any further, okay, King? I'm handing the show back over to you now.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, brother. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad is his messenger. I greet you, my beloved family, in the greeting words of peace. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam,
brothers and sisters, those words simply mean peace be unto you. That's the spirit in which I'm before you today. And once again, I've got to thank Brother Andrew Muhammad for the Hidden Truth show. It's absolutely a fantastic platform. And I really love the subject today, which is nation building. And I have to say it like this. I'm a person who, I have to be honest, brothers and sisters, because unfortunately, for those of us who are African Caribbean people in the United Kingdom, I don't believe that we have sufficient nation building credentials, in that we have been hoodwinked into believing that when we came to England and Europe, that we came here to integrate ourselves into the host people's nation, not to come here and build something for ourselves. And so this is something that we really need to look at very seriously. I hope people have pen and paper and that you'll make a few notes of some of the things that I may share with you this evening, and some of the things that you will hear on a video presentation that I want to share with you. I don't intend to talk for very long. I think the video that I'm going to show will speak for itself. But essentially, what I'm saying is this, brothers and sisters. I watched the show, I watched The Hidden Truth, and I'm telling you, man, whether it's Reverend Shock, whether it's our brother Tubada, it really matters not. What the reality is that every single person that you see coming on this Hidden Truth shows, these every week on a Tuesday evening, these are people who have been touched by the Spirit of God. We're living in a time, brothers and sisters, where Black people, African people, all around the globe are rising based on the fact that we have been suppressed and oppressed for now nearly 500 years. And that oppression and suppression was ordained to happen. The Black man and Black woman had to go to sleep so that an honor-like people could rule for the last 6,000 years, and in specifics, oppress us for the last 460 plus years. Brothers and sisters, we are the people written of in both the Bible and the Holy Quran, the scriptures, and we are the people who God is talking about and who the prophets prophesied of, who would go into bondage for 400 years, be destroyed as a human reality. And at the end of that time, in the book of Genesis, chapter 15, verse 13 and 14, it says at the end of that time, God would come and he would save those people who would be in bondage for those 400 years, and that we would come out of that condition with great substance. It is we that the scripture is talking about, brothers and sisters. And the book of scriptures that we're talking about here, they are not talking about history. We keep looking back 2,000 years to Jesus and 4,000 years to Moses, when in reality, Moses and Jesus are manifesting right before our eyes today. The Messiah that everybody talks about coming, the second coming of Christ, the coming of the Son of Man. These things are taking place right in front of our eyes, right here today. But we are in danger because the scripture says, he comes unto his own, but his own receives him not. The light, which is talking about knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, the light shines into the darkness, which is ignorance, but the darkness comprehends it not. So here we are. We have a man today on our planet who is so awesome. And I'm, brothers and sisters, I'm telling you, man, straight up, I would have nothing of substance to say to you today if it wasn't for this man, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I really want to say to you, brothers and sisters, please get out of this idea that there is this divide and this division between you and I here and our brothers and sisters in the so-called United Snakes of America. The reality is that we are one family scattered all over the globe. We're in the Caribbean, we're in North America, we're 80 million plus in Brazil. We're in the Isles of the Pacific. We're still on the continent of Mother Africa. But the reality is that we are one people. And even though we see the minister coming out of North America, don't be put off by that. Don't think that this is some American thing. Myself and brother Andrew didn't fly to New York and sleep on people's floors and go through what we had to go through to go and get our X, Leo X, Andrew X, Malcolm X, Cassius X. Then he becomes Muhammad Ali. Then he becomes Leo Muhammad. Then he becomes Andrew Muhammad. There's a reason for this process that we go through, and every single one of us should be cognizant of what's going on, because the nation of Islam, the nation, is not what you think it is. Most of the information that you've received about the nation of Islam, you've gotten that information from our enemies, or from envious and jealous people who don't want to see the black nation rise, who don't want to see us come together. And this idea of Islam scares the life out of our people. Many of our people start running in the opposite direction when they hear Islam, when all Islam means is peace. In other words, a nation of peace. This is what the nation is about, dear beloved brothers and sisters. And so I would encourage you to really think about this concept of nation building, because whether we like it or not, this is what we're called upon to do today. As Black people, this beautiful advertisement that Brother Andrew just shared with us of our people producing food now for us, and all of the other business people. I'm not sure if our brother Charles Gordon is going to be with us tonight, but you know, the TTIP, the Taking the Initiative Party. We need that political party. We need politics. We need our social enterprises. We need to be taking care of our elderly and our young. We need to be doing all of the different things which are necessary to make a nation real. In the Nation of Islam, it's not just about wearing suits and bow ties and the sisters wearing long dresses. In the Nation of Islam, we got dreadlocks, brothers and sisters. In the Nation of Islam, we got people wearing miniskirts. You know, the reality is that we're talking about a whole nation. We represent the entire Black nation. And we've got to start thinking like that and stop thinking division. Oh, I'm a Muslim, I'm a Christian, I'm a Rasta, I'm a Pan-Africanist, I'm a nationalist. These are all artificial divisions. Today we're divided on the basis that the slave master who colonized us was French, and we're now French speaking. Some of us were colonized by the Spanish. We're now Spanish speaking. Some of us were colonized by the English. And as a result, now we don't like each other because we all speak all of these European languages. Brothers and sisters, it's time for us to really come together and begin to love and appreciate one another, and to understand that there is some study that we have to do. In the Nation of Islam, we are first and foremost students. I'm not talking to you today as some big time teacher or leader. I'm a student first and foremost. And by the way, I'm one of the baby students in the Nation of Islam. But I know, beloved family, that there is study that we have to do in order to understand our true identity, who we are. We are God's children of the Most High God. And in a clip that Brother Andrew showed earlier on, the brother was sitting in the studio talking to a few people, and he was explaining why we are oppressed. You don't oppress something that's useless or nothing. You only oppress that which you believe and you're fearful of its rise and its ability to overtake. Let me conclude these remarks by just saying to you, family, you know, we were not allowed to play golf, and we let one man into golf. They let one man into golf, Tiger, and then all of a sudden he goes all the way to the Masters and wins. What's that all about? One black man, and he was even confused about his blackness. And I hope he recovers, because I know the brother was involved in a very serious accident recently. We let one black woman into tennis in 1935, 1937. She goes straight to Wimbledon and wins. What's that all about? Later on, we get Venus and Serena. They run out of opponents. But we wasn't allowed to play tennis. But as soon as you let us in 1973, they let in one black man, Arthur Ashe, straight to the Masters again, straight to Wimbledon. And so this is showing you something about us as a people. If we are operating on an even playing field, there is nothing that can stop our rise. And whether or not they attempt to stop our rise today, which they are very much doing, I can assure you, brothers and sisters, there is no power in the heavens above nor in the earth beneath that can stop the rise of the black man and woman today. It is our time, it's our day, and all we got to do is come together in unity, because our unity is more powerful than an atomic bomb. So says the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Brother Andrew, I wonder if I can share my screen.
Yes, yes, my big brother. 1 second. Give me 1 second. You should be able to do it now, King.
Thank you, brother. I hope everyone's okay. Wow. I don't know where my...
You're getting pure ones, brother. You're getting pure ones.
Hello there, Brother Leo.
How you doing, my sister?
Too bad. It's been a long time.
It's wonderful to see you, my sister. Wow.
It's been a very, very long time.
Sister,
I heard you say earlier 35, and I kind of had to look at myself a little bit at that point and go, well,
say that again?
I said, I heard you say you look 35 earlier, and I had to look at my watch and say, interesting maths there.
Yes, well, you know, that's really how I feel, sister, and I do get a bit worried about some of our people when we focus so much on age, and we really start to think that we're old when in reality we're so young.
Yes.
So let me try this thing now, Brother Andrew. Yep.
Just to let you know some of the comments that have come up so far. Is it Glasmin has said truthfulness to the max, and this is a big wake-up call. Julia says, yes, talk the truth, continue to. Debbie says that we need to be united, and I guess that's the aim of today, to speak a little bit more about. However, there was a question.
And he said unto Abraham.
1 second, sister.
No.
Sorry, Sister Jurita, go ahead.
All right, no worries.
Go ahead.
There was one question that came up, and I don't know if you can answer this one, but I'm not too sure if it was a metaphorical one or not, or a hypothetical one. But the question was, what would the nation do differently if they had Malcolm all over again?
If we had who all over again?
Malcolm all over again.
You know, sister, it's not a case of having Malcolm all over again, to be quite honest with you. We have so many Malcolms in the nation today. We have so many Malcolms out in those streets. We got Malcolms right now sitting in the prison cells. We got Malcolm. We just have to stop looking back and start looking forward. Look at what we have in the present reality, because if not, we're just dreamers about something that we cannot have, but we have everything we need right here and right now. Let me play this presentation, and then maybe we can have something to say a little bit afterwards, yeah?
Sure, sure.
Thank you, family.
And he said unto Abraham, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and they shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterwards shall they come out with great substance. For as the lightning cometh out of the east, and shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. In 1930, a man came from the east, the holy city of Mecca, Arabia. He introduced himself as Wallace D. Farid in Detroit, Michigan, and began teaching the rejected and despised black man and woman of America. Black people in America were in the worst condition imaginable. They were taught their blackness was a curse, and that they were doomed to be hewers of wood and drawers of water. Wallace D. Farid came to destroy those lies and bring the light of truth. he taught them to love themselves and the supreme knowledge of self. I have said, ye are all gods, and all are children of the Most High. He revealed to them their hidden history of not only being kings and queens, but how they once ruled as gods. He began to lead them onto a path of a new spiritual culture and civilization. In 1931, Wallace D. Fodder was preaching this great truth of salvation when he met a poor, humble man by the name of Elijah Poole. He renamed him Elijah Muhammad and chose him to be his divine representative. For 3.5 years, Wallace D. Fodder taught and trained Elijah Muhammad night and day. He raised his student to understand the profound wisdoms of the reality of God. This included knowledge of the universal order of things and the creation of life from the beginning of time. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad knew that Wallace D. Fodder was no ordinary man. He identified this unequaled human being as the one that the world has been expecting for the past 2,000 years. The one we have all looked for under the names of Messiah, the second coming of Jesus, the Christ, Jehovah, God, and the Son of Man. When Elijah Muhammad asked him to identify himself, he replied, I am the Mahdi. In 1933, he officially signed his name as W.F. Muhammad, which means Wallace Fodder Muhammad. This name expresses the meaning of one who had come in the early morning dawn of the new millennium to lay the base for a new world order of peace and righteousness. These 12 Jesus sent forth and commanded them, saying, Go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not, but go rather to the house of Israel. As Jesus instructed his disciples to first teach only the house of Israel, Master Fodder Muhammad instructed his messenger, Elijah Muhammad, to first teach the black man and woman of America. He knew that it would be impossible for them to love others without first loving themselves. Elijah Muhammad knew he would be misunderstood and persecuted, but he courageously accepted the mission he was born for.
You're an independent people. You don't need to go nowhere but to yourself. Yes, sir.
After being in America, the heart of the earth, for 3 years as it was written of him, Master Fodder Muhammad told Elijah Muhammad that it was time for him to leave. Elijah Muhammad was ready.
What about you, brother? How do you feel about the Honorable Elijah
Honorable
Muhammad?
Elijah Muhammad is trying to teach all our original people they are in bad shape.
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Honorable Elijah Muhammad trying to wake them up.
Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. As the Bible predicted, Elijah Muhammad was sent to the world as a messenger of God. He was not self-taught or self-made, but one mighty in power had taught him what he knew not. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad never received more than a 4th grade education, yet his supreme knowledge and wisdom confounded the scholars of the world. He raised a powerful nation out of these once slaves. For 44 years, he taught freedom, justice, and equality as he extended this Islamic movement to every city in America and settlements throughout the world. His teachings of economic development, combined with moral and spiritual renewal, reformed the black community. The establishment of farms, schools, a bank, and grocery stores showed signs of progress. This list also included international fish imports, a national trucking company, an aviation department, and many other successful businesses throughout the country and abroad. It is said that you can measure the wisdom of a teacher through the works of their students. Under the leadership of Elijah Muhammad, world leaders and icons were produced. His son, Warith Deen Muhammad, became one of the greatest Islamic scholars known throughout the world. He bridged the gap between the broader Muslim community and the Christian church. His notable endeavors played a significant role in the growth of Islam in America.
In the words of Mr. Farrar, I can sit on top of the world and tell anyone that the most beautiful nation is in the wilderness of North America.
Muhammad Ali, known as the greatest boxer of all time. It wasn't just his charismatic charm and outspokenness, but his desire to make a righteous stand for humanity, proclaiming him the people's champ.
But when one man of popularity can let the world know the problem, he might lose a few dollars himself telling the truth, might lose his life, but he's helping millions. But if I kept my mouth shut just because I can make millions, I just love the freedom and the flesh and blood of my people more so than I do the money.
He stunned the world when he refused to join the military and fight in the Vietnam War due to his religious beliefs. Because of this, he was stripped of his title and threatened to be imprisoned. Ali held on to his faith, and finally, after a seemingly endless battle with the Supreme Court, he regained his world title. Muhammad Ali will always be known as the greatest. Malcolm X, born Malcolm Little, a young man of destiny, heard the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad while incarcerated. Malcolm immersed himself into the teachings, and it transformed his life. He later became the minister of the New York Mosque and the national spokesperson for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. With only an 8th grade education and armed with knowledge gained from his teacher, he debated and defeated scholars from Harvard, Oxford, and other top institutes in the world.
If a Chinese person were to say his name was Patrick Murphy, you would look at him like he's insane, because Murphy is a name that has a Caucasian or a white background. I think it would be just as improper for a black person or the so-called Negro in this country, as we're taught by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, to walk around with these names. And therefore he teaches us that during slavery, the same slave master who owned us put his last name on us to denote that we were his property.
Malcolm X, a polarizing figure, displaying the struggle towards humanity and redemption through his journey in life. He will always be remembered as one of the most brilliant black leaders of all time. In the 44 years the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was among us, he chose one national representative, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. In 1955, Louis Farrakhan joined the Nation of Islam. Once a popular musician, he gave up a life of fame and fortune for a life he himself could not even fathom. Over 6 decades later, Minister Louis Farrakhan reflects on making his word bond by continuing to share the teachings as a student of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Knowing from the inception that the world would benefit from the wisdom of Master Farad Muhammad, Elijah Muhammad prepared his student to imbue the universal aspect of his teachings to benefit the entire human family. And he said unto them, "Go ye into the world, and preach the gospel to every creature." The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has fulfilled his divine inevitability, sharing the Word of God, reaching untold numbers throughout the world. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that the Nation of Islam would one day fall, only to rise and never fall again. After Elijah Muhammad's departure, Minister Farrakhan began rebuilding the works of his beloved teacher in the late 70s. In the 80s, he inspired the rebirth of a nation before countless crowds, bearing witness to the truth of his teacher. His love for humanity and the desire to dispel the notion that black men were non-redeemable gave prominence to the Stop the Killing tour in the early 90s. With an extraordinary act of faith, Minister Farrakhan called 1 million black men to Washington, D.C. Monday, October 16th, 1995, a day that time stood still. Nearly 2 million men were the hopes, the desires, and the fulfillment of a people yearning to atone and become one with God. Till this day, the Million Man March remains one of the largest gatherings in the annals of world history. After the Million Man March, a spiritual revelation inspired Minister Farrakhan to begin his next endeavor. He increased an already extraordinary pace as he was welcomed all over the world by kings and rulers as a head of state on the World Friendship Tour. Nations opened their doors to the minister as he circled the globe, making friends for Black America. Today, Minister Farrakhan continues to spread the teachings of freedom, justice, and equality. His body of work has proven him to be a divine leader, teacher, and guide. The Nation of Islam is comprised of a group of individuals who, when touched by the Word of God, forge a bond of brother and sisterhood. The men, known as the FOI, or Fruit of Islam, are constantly training and conditioning themselves to meet and overcome all obstacles in their path. To do this, the FOI are compelled to be honest, humble, obedient, tolerant, courteous, dependable, and militant. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught that a nation can rise no higher than its woman. We must honor, respect, and protect our women. The MGT and GCC is the name given to the training of the women and girls in North America. It stands for Muslim Girls Training and General Civilization Class. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad's desire was to produce a very high level of civilization coming through a reformed woman. He taught us, when you teach a man, you teach an individual. But when you teach a woman, you teach a nation. We're your teachers, doctors, lawyers, your everyday people. No matter who we are individually, we all have one common goal, and that's to deliver this message of truth to the world. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad's words from the Muslim program. We want justice, equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally to all, regardless of creed, class, or color. He further states, as the foundation of our nation, we believe that Allah, God, appeared in the person of Master W. Farad Muhammad, July 1930, the long-awaited Messiah of the Christians and the Mahdi of the Muslims. We believe further and lastly that Allah is God, and besides Him, there is no God, and He will bring about a universal government of peace wherein we all can live in peace together. Welcome to your Nation of Islam.
We'll never fall again.
Brothers and sisters, as I said, today is Nation Building Day. Leo, is there anything more you wanted to add to that presentation?
No, just suffice to say, Brother Andrew, that we're living in very serious times, brother, and our people cannot afford to not recognize who we are as a people, and that we are the people that God has come for. And we are the people who are to rise today to build a brand new nation, and not a nation that's modeled after this wicked world that we live in, but a nation built on freedom, justice, and equality, regardless to creed or class or color. A nation that is a nation of peace, and a nation that we can actually defend and protect our women and our children. We need soldiers, we need brothers who are courageous and strong today who are willing to stand up on behalf of our people, because unfortunately, brother, with the COVID-19 pandemic and the rollout of these experimental vaccines, there are some very, very diabolical and nefarious plans afoot, brother. And we have to stand up today as Black men in particular, and Black women generally, in order for us to survive. So that's all I really wanted to say and share, because it is nation time. In the Nation of Islam, we have a cry. We say, what time is it? And the reply always, it's nation time. Thank you. May Allah bless each and every one of us with a deeper level of understanding. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. We love you, brother Leo. Jarita will read out some of the comments being made. If at the end, and if we get time, we'll try and do a few questions and answers, because I can see a few questions that were put into the postings. Jarita, if you can look out